I'm Diane Larson, 35, a single mother who has fought tirelessly to create a safe, happy life for my daughter here in Missoula, Montana. The year-end gathering at my parents' suburban home started like any other. But that night, everything shifted. My daughter sat quietly, barely touching her food, when my brother suddenly stood, his words sharp and cruel. "You don't belong here," he sneered, tossing a half-eaten piece of meat onto her plate. "Say thank you for even being here." The room froze. My parents laughed, their amusement slicing through me worse than any insult. My daughter's eyes filled with tears, and my chest tightened as fury and heartbreak collided. I'd spent years supporting him through college, covering their bills, helping their lives stay comfortable, and this was how they treated her. I met his gaze, my voice cold, measured, unshakable. "Everyone will get what they deserve." I grabbed my daughter's hand and we left, slamming the door behind us. Their laughter echoed after us, but I felt a strange clarity. This was over, and something else was coming, justice they wouldn't see coming. That night, I drove through the snow-covered streets of Missoula to my aunt's house, gripping the steering wheel so tightly my knuckles whitened. I couldn't stop thinking about my daughter's tear-streaked face, the humiliation she had endured. I had poured my heart and money into a family that clearly didn't care. My Aunt Ellen opened the door before I could knock. Her face softened when she saw my shaking hands and she led me inside. Over steaming mugs of tea, I poured out everything. My brother's cruel words, my parents' laughter at my daughter's expense, the years of financial sacrifice. Ellen listened quietly, letting me speak without interruption. Then she placed her hand over mine. "Diane," she said gently, "you've been their bank for years. What have they given you in return?" Her words hit like a lightning bolt. I had sent tens of thousands to cover my brother's college tuition alone, yet they treated my daughter as an intruder in her own family. "You don't owe them anything," Ellen continued, firm now. "You've done more than enough." Something inside me shifted. I looked down at my daughter's image in my mind, the small hand I held, the tears she had fought back, and I felt a fire ignite. I couldn't keep giving to people who disrespected us. "You're right," I said, my voice steady. "I'm done." Ellen's encouraging smile grounded me. "Protect her. Protect yourself. You are stronger than you know." Late into the night, we talked. For the first time, I saw clearly how I had been chasing approval at the cost of my own peace. No more. I pulled out my phone and typed a message to my parents. "I am stopping all financial support." Effective immediately, I hit send and felt an enormous weight lift from my shoulders. That night, the quiet streets of Missoula seemed different, calmer, full of possibility. I realized I had spent so long trying to buy love and approval. Now I was choosing us, my daughter and me. Morning brought the predictable storm. My phone buzzed endlessly with texts from my mother, dripping with accusation. "How could you do this? You're abandoning your family." My father, Dennis, chimed in, "We raised you better. You're selfish." Even worse, my mother posted a vague but pointed message on Facebook, insinuating that I had turned my back on family when they needed me. In our small Missoula community, whispers followed me in stores, neighbors asking if I was all right, curiosity hiding behind polite smiles. My brother called, his tone sharp, almost desperate. "Diane, you can't just cut me off. I need that money for college. You owe me." "No," I said firmly, my hands trembling but my resolve unbroken. "I owe you nothing." I hung up. Through calls, texts, and public posts, the pressure was suffocating, but I refused to bend. My daughter deserved more than relatives who saw her as a source of cash. I wouldn't back down. Later that weekend, my best friend and colleague Brenda came into my office, her expression tense with concern. "Diane, we need to talk," she said quietly, closing the door behind her. While going through some financial files for a client, I stumbled upon something alarming. My mother, Nancy, had taken out a $10,000 loan in my name. My chest tightened and I froze. Brenda placed a folder in front of me, stuffed with bank records, statements, and email correspondence. As I examined the contents, the truth hit me. This wasn't a clerical error. She had applied for the loan last year, and the payments were already overdue. Flipping through the papers, my hands trembling, I saw my name and social security number tied to a debt I had never authorized. The betrayal was suffocating. I had poured my heart, my time, my money, and my trust into my family, and now this. How could she? I whispered, barely able to speak. Brenda's expression softened. You have to act quickly to protect yourself, she said. I knew she was right. That day, I spent hours collecting proof, screenshots of emails, copies of bank statements, and any document showing I hadn't signed the loan. By evening, I called the bank, keeping my voice steady despite the anger simmering inside me. I reported the loan as fraudulent and emailed them all the evidence. The bank promised an investigation, but I couldn't ignore the potential damage to my credit and reputation. Meanwhile, Nancy made matters worse by posting cryptic updates on Facebook, as if flaunting her innocence. Distant relatives liked the posts, each click stabbing at my heart. At the coffee shop, neighbors' pitying glances followed me. I wanted to confront her directly, but Brenda reminded me to stay composed. Let the bank handle it, she said. You're doing the right thing. I clung to her words. This wasn't just about money. It was about breaking free from a lifetime of deception. 2 weeks later, the bank called. Ms. Larson, the officer said, his voice measured but serious. Our investigation confirms fraud on the loan taken out in your name. Evidence points directly to your mother, Nancy. My chest tightened at the confirmation, a strange mix of pain and relief. The bank had frozen the loan account and initiated legal action. We'll keep you informed, he added. My mind raced as I hung up. Justice was finally underway. But at what cost to my family? That evening, my phone buzzed with frantic calls. Diane, you can't do this, New York pleaded. Tell the bank it was a misunderstanding. They're going after us. Dennis's voice joined, softer but desperate. We're your parents. Don't let this destroy us. Their pleas stung, but I saw through them. It wasn't remorse, it was fear. You brought this on yourselves, I said calmly. I won't withdraw the complaint. Nancy gasped, then bombarded me with texts. You're ruining our lives. Think about what you're doing. I ignored her messages. Days later, word came through a cousin. My parents were selling their SUV, the one they'd flaunted for years. Soon after, a for sale sign appeared on their Missoula suburban home. Gossip spread through the town, trailing me to the grocery store. I felt a brief pang of guilt, but it faded. Their life had been built on my money and lies. Now, they were facing the consequences. My daughter deserved a mother who stood firm, and I wouldn't waver. A month later, an envelope slipped under my apartment door. I recognized my mother's handwriting immediately, the neat, familiar cursive from birthday cards. My heart sank as I unfolded the letter. Nancy and Dennis had sent a letter, their words dripping with guilt and accusation. Diane, you've torn this family apart, it began. Fix your mistake. Start sending money again, or you'll regret it. The audacity struck me like a slap. They had lost their car, their home, and still expected me to bail them out. My hands shook as I crumpled the paper, anger boiling over. I had given them everything, and yet here they were, demanding more. One by one, I blocked their numbers, my mother, my father, my brother, erasing them from my life. On Facebook, I cut off their profiles, silencing the toxic posts that had haunted me for weeks. Each tap felt like lifting a weight I'd carried far too long. I was done letting their venom seep into my life. My daughter deserved peace, and so did I. The very next day, I signed a lease for a new apartment in downtown Missoula. The modern space had large windows, a small balcony, and was close to my office, a fresh start. Moving day was chaotic, but exhilarating. We left behind the reminders of betrayal and stepped into a life of our own making. My daughter's smile returned, bright and hopeful. This is our home now, isn't it? She asked. I hugged her tightly. Yes, sweetheart. Just ours. That night, as I lay staring at the ceiling of our new apartment, the silence felt different. No buzzing phones, no guilt-laden texts, just quiet. For the first time in years, I felt truly free. I reflected on the countless hours and dollars I had poured into their lives, only to be met with lies and entitlement. Cutting them off wasn't just survival, it was reclaiming my life, for me and my daughter. We were starting over, building a life on our terms. Nothing could hold us back. That spring, an email changed everything. The subject line read, "Congratulations, Regional Director." My hard work had been recognized. I would now oversee our firm's operations across Montana. The promotion came with a raise that promised real security, a life where my daughter could thrive without worry. Sitting at my desk, a smile spread across my face. For the first time in years, I felt steady, grounded, able to breathe freely. No more scraping by to fund someone else's drama. This life was ours. I called my Aunt Ellen to share the news. "You earned this, Diane," she said warmly. "You fought for it." Ellen had always been our anchor, offering support when the rest of the world seemed to crumble. She had even started taking my daughter to dance classes at a local studio, a small luxury I'd never been able to give her before. For the first time, I felt like we were truly building something lasting. Something REA. The dance classes were more than just steps and spins. They were a lifeline for my daughter. After everything she had endured, seeing her confidence blossom felt like a blessing. I would watch her glide across the living room, tiny feet barely touching the floor, her laughter echoing through our apartment. One evening, Ellen arrived with a pizza and a stack of old photo albums. We settled on the balcony, sifting through snapshots of my childhood, laughing at my awkward perms and baggy sweaters. "Look at you now," Ellen said, gripping my hand. "You're creating something real." Her words sank deep. My daughter was thriving, and I felt myself coming alive too. The heaviness of the past had lifted, replaced by a sense of possibility. That summer, in our bright downtown Missoula apartment, I reflected on how far we had come. Sunlight poured through the windows, illuminating the walls adorned with my daughter's artwork. I had spent so many years entangled in family expectations, feeling obliged to give them my time, money, and loyalty. But their betrayal, using my name and demanding I carry their burdens, taught me an undeniable truth. Love should never come at the expense of my self-worth. I thought of Ellen and my friend Brenda, the ones who had truly supported me. Ellen's gentle guidance and Brenda's keen insight showed me what real loyalty looked like. They wanted nothing in return, only our happiness. They had become the family I chose, and I would protect them fiercely. Watching my daughter spin across the room in her little dance shoes, I saw resilience personified. She had faced pain and disappointment, yet she was growing stronger every day. I had learned to put her first, to shield her from those who saw us as convenient tools. My most important lesson was clear. My value was not determined by anyone else's approval. It came from standing tall, choosing carefully who deserved my love, and shaping a life that was genuinely mine. I made a vow to her and to myself that no matter what challenges lay ahead, I would fight for our future. A future where my daughter could dream without limits, where we would never bend to anyone else's demands again. As I watched her laughter fill the room, I knew we were enough. Our journey was ours to own, and I was ready to walk it hand in hand with her into everything that came next.